So after my video where I complained about all the pain and suffering I was having in my arm and my shoulder from drawing, scar tissue or core, or a lot of pain inner elbow, golfer's elbow, called tennis elbow, that pain, shoulder pain. A lot of people asked if I was using the Sketchboard Pro for the iPad, and I had not been using it. The main reason why I wasn't using it is because I had backed the Astropad Darkboard project on Kickstarter, but that was taking a while, and I decided, you know what, maybe I should give the Sketchboard Pro a try. So I ended up getting one of these, and I've had it for a while now. You may have noticed me drawing on it in some of my videos, and I have to say, I don't know why I didn't get one of these sooner. It is really, really good. Like, it makes the drawing experience on the iPad so much better. And one of the things that's like a real big benefit that I didn't even consider is how it makes the iPad feel much bigger. And not just because it's like a bigger surface, but because your hand is no longer resting on the iPad, taking up surface area. Your hand rests on the edges of this sketchboard, and then you're left with the full display not being obscured. That alone is a huge upgrade for drawing on the iPad. Before I got this, my drawing experience was either with my iPad on the desk or like on that magnetic arm that I have that I did a video about. I'll link up here. Or, and this is the one that I probably spend the most like consecutive time, is sitting on the couch drawing like this. So this is how I drew for the longest time before I got the Sketchboard Pro. Just holding it like this, like resting my elbow on my knee or whatever, and then like this. So with the Sketchboard Pro, I have more options because it's big. So sometimes it's hard to get in here, but I think it's because I didn't like read the directions. Oh, okay. So you just got to go into one side first and then it pops in. So with this, I can sort of like lean it up on my lap. Sometimes like I'll put my leg up like this, and it's just a much nicer experience. I can like rest my arm on it. Definitely helps with the ergonomics quite a bit in that regard. It just feels like such a bigger space to draw on because I have this spot to put my arms, even though the screen obviously isn't any bigger. This thing has these like rubbery legs on it, and it's got 4 of them, because you would never use it like this because that's silly, and it would also wobble. So when I use it like this on the desk, it's just, you know, like that, propping it up at a good angle. And it's a much nicer experience than drawing on a flat table. Another thing that's really nice about this is it's got this little hole where you can just like stick your pencil. You just want to put it down quickly, which is nice. And it also has a cutout up top so that you can still charge your pencil while using it. And there's this like notch over here so that you can plug it in while you're using it. You just like route the cable underneath it. It's, to be honest, a little bit of a pain in the ass to get it in, but it's not that big of a deal. You just have to like push it in and then sort of like wedge it into place, and then it'll pop in. Not the best, not the worst. It's nice that it's there. I'd rather have it be a little bit annoying and still be able to charge the pencil. The iPad, not the pencil. The pencil charges fine up here. So this is like a nice rubbery material on the sides that holds the iPad. And then this is just like a hard plastic on the outside. One thing that I don't love is that it's like the kind of plastic that gets sort of like shiny, you know what I mean? Like it looks like I have greasy hands or something, which I don't. And it's kind of big and heavy. So although it's nice to draw on, it does make this like a heavy unit. Not great for like bringing with you, because it takes up a lot of space. The other thing is it's got this like handle, which you think is a handle, but don't use it as a handle because the iPad will fall out. And it doesn't seem like it'll fall out, but it'll fall out. I've had it fall out on me before. Like it seems like it's pretty sturdy, like this is not falling out, but then it'll randomly fall out. Like it feels sturdy in there, but if you're holding it like this and you, I don't know, bump it a tiny bit, like I almost dropped it down the stairs. Not ideal. One thing that might be obvious is you can't use this with an iPad case. So if you have an iPad case that you regularly use, you would have to take it out to put it in here. It's got cutouts for the camera, but I'm one of those people who I don't think I've ever used a camera on an iPad. And then it's got this cutout, which I don't know why. It's got like rubber feet down here so it doesn't slide. And yeah, overall, it's a nice piece. So I've been waiting to talk about this one until I got the dartboard from the Astropad people to compare the two and see which I like better. So I've had the dartboard now for a couple weeks, and I've been trying to switch back and forth and see which I prefer and what experience I like. So let's look at the dartboard. So this is much lighter. It's foam. It says it's like a sporting material, but I don't know. It's like foam. The middle part is like a soft touch plastic, and then it's got these hard plastic things to hold the iPad in, obviously cut out for the camera. In terms of size, it's a little bit smaller. This is the 2. The sketchboard is like an inch wider and several inches taller, but it's dramatically heavier, much heavier than this one, much heavier. This one's super light, still a bit clunky, but you know, it needs to be big. And it also comes with this foldy thing, which is like a way to make it into a stand and elevate it so to give you like a different angle. So instead of having the legs like this one, you've got this thing, which is, it's kind of cool because it makes it more portable, though I don't know. I was a bit confused at first, but you know, that could just be me. There's this option to like have it as a vertical stand, which is kind of cool, which I thought I would want to use more at my desk, but just takes up like a lot of space. Like all the extra space that's great when you're holding it and drawing on it just feels like extra when you're using it as like a display on your desk. So if you're someone who likes to use your iPad as an additional display and also a drawing tablet like I do, I end up wanting to take it out of this and just put it on like a mount or something like that. It also ends up being too low on the desk, so there's always that. This is like I don't know, rubbery, soft material, some Velcro and foldy things. Velcro, I guess. Where's the Velcro? I hear it, but I don't see it. It certainly sounds like it's Velcroing. Oh, in here. Yeah, that's the Velcro. Okay, so let's pop the iPad in here. So with this one, you push it in like that. Not falling out. I thought it was really hard to get the iPad out of here, but it was because I didn't read the directions. So it's got this like wing thing up here, and you just push on that and then it just comes right out. This one has a similar notch to the Sketchboard Pro, but it's not like a hole. You just sort of plug it in and then it kind of sticks out a little bit. So it's less clean, but it's a lot easier to use. And then it has the cutout for the Apple Pencil to charge, which is appreciated for sure. This one doesn't have a hole to stick your iPad in. Your pencil doesn't have a hole to put your pencil in, like on the Sketchboard Pro, where you can just go like that. But listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never actually put my pencil in that hole before. This is the first time. And the only reason I know that is because I just watched a video about it from someone else, and they're like, you can put your pencil here and this is really great. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that. Not sure why. I think it's easy enough to just pop it up here and have it magnet to the top, and then it's charging while it's doing it. So 2 birds, 1 stone. So in terms of drawing, like on the couch where I'm like holding it like this and drawing on it, even though this one is only like an inch less wide than the Sketchboard Pro, it feels smaller than that. It feels like I have less room than I do with the Sketchboard Pro. And I don't really know that's warranted. Maybe it's the extra length. I think that extra inch just sort of makes a big difference. I think because I'm a larger person, I appreciate the extra size. So I think I prefer drawing on the Sketchboard Pro better than I do the dartboard. But I think if I was a smaller person, I would appreciate the light weight of the Sketchboard Pro, and I wouldn't think that it was too small. And to be honest, it's not too small because I drew with just an iPad for a very long time. So before I wrap up this comparison, I decided to do a little bit more research and make sure I wasn't forgetting anything about either of these 2 drawing stands. When I talked about the dartboard having that vertical mode where it stands up, you can do the same thing with the Sketchboard Pro. Basically, you just put these legs down like this, and you go like, that's not how you do it. Oh, it's like this. Okay, so that's why I didn't realize it worked before. So to use the Sketchboard Pro in the vertical format, you just have to have it sideways, which is how your iPad would be anyway, so it sort of makes sense. So it just leans on these legs, and it's pretty sturdy, pretty sturdy. I think it would be fine to work that way if you wanted to. I think if I was gonna use it like this, it would be more of like a vertical monitor situation. I wonder if there's a configuration that you could do to make that work horizontally. I don't think so, because these things like push up when there's pressure on them, so they would automatically shut So the only reason it works vertical is because when these stick out, they're not going the way that you would push them in. So there isn't a monitor, horizontal monitor setup for the Sketchboard Pro, unless I'm just an idiot and not seeing something that's pretty obvious. So one thing that is really cool about the Sketchboard Pro is that it's designed to be upgradable. So this center portion can be removed and you can order a new one. Like if you got a new iPad or switch sizes or something like that, you could get an upgrade kit, and the upgrade kits are normally $39, though it says they're $29 on the website right now on sale. I don't know how long that sale's going on. And then you can just get one for a number of different iPad sizes so this can fit yours. So I think that's a really good thing, especially if you're concerned about buying one of these things and then like a new iPad gets released. Like maybe they're gonna release a whole new version in the fall. If that's the case, likely you'll be able to upgrade your Sketchboard Pro to fit that. On the other hand, this Darkboard only comes in two sizes. There's D1 and D2. The D1 is for the 12.9 inch iPad Pro, which is what I have. And it says 3rd gen and newer. And then there's something on the site that says if your iPad has a home button, it won't work with Darkboard. So I guess that's an easy way to find out if you have a 3rd generation or newer. And then they have model D2, and D2 fits the 11 inch iPad Pro or the 11 inch iPad Air. So a little bit more limited in that regard. Now I talked about the pricing for the upgrade kit for the Sketchboard Pro, but I didn't talk about the overall pricing of how much these things cost. So the Sketchboard Pro is $129 and the Darkboard is $119. So they're definitely close in price. Even though the Sketchboard Pro is a little bit more, it does have that upgradable feature. So it's sort of like an investment that hopefully you'll be able to use it further on with a new iPad, whereas this one may not fit the new iPad. So something to consider. Another thing I discovered is the Sketchboard Pro comes in a cool white color. I don't know what cool white color. It comes in white. Looks kind of cool. I like the white. I wonder if that material would look less shiny, like in the plastic, because you know that was something that I complained about with the Sketchboard Pro. So I'd be interested in that. I'm not interested enough that I think I'm going to like get the white one to replace this one because, you know, this one works fine. So I talked about the weight of each of these earlier in the video, but I think it might be a little bit easier to break it down this way. The Sketchboard Pro on its own without the iPad weighs 4.5 pounds, and the Darkboard without the iPad in it weighs 1.3 pounds. For context, the 12.9 inch iPad Pro weighs 1.5 pounds. So the Sketchboard Pro is a little bit lighter than an iPad Pro 12.9, whereas the Sketchboard Pro is 3 pounds heavier than an iPad Pro 12.9. So a huge difference there. So what are my final thoughts? I think both of these things are excellent and just a huge improvement in the drawing experience over just drawing on an iPad Pro and like, you know, any case out there. Dramatic difference. Game changer. I wish that I had done it sooner. It is so much more comfortable. It makes the iPad feel so much bigger. It's easier on my elbow, my shoulder. It's just a great experience. I've been gravitating towards the Darkboard. I think just because it's so lightweight, it's like a little bit smaller. I don't know, it's a little less clunky. I like the width to it. It's like a little bit thicker. It's nice to be holding, and that's like when I bring it upstairs and like draw on the couch when I'm not at my office. This is my go-to. That said, if I didn't have either and I was gonna buy one, I don't know, it's hard to ignore the benefits of being able to upgrade the Sketchboard Pro if something new comes out. So there is a lot of merit to that. I think either of these is fantastic and you can't go wrong. And I cannot recommend enough using one of these if you're spending a lot of time drawing on the iPad. I hope you found this helpful. I have links to both of these below. I may have a promo code for the Darkboard. I'm not 100% sure, but if I do, it'll be down there in the description. So look for that. Let me know if you've tried one of these and what you think. Do you agree with me that it's just like a game changer in terms of drawing on an iPad? Because I can't imagine going back. Just doing the demonstration in this video where I'm like holding it and drawing just felt so awkward. As always, if you found this helpful, please go ahead and smash my thumb button at the bottom. And if you like hearing me talk about illustration stuff, maybe you should subscribe. Also, I do a weekly live stream every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, where I do some Adobe Fresco tips, I do some live drawing, I answer illustration questions, and just have a lot of fun. Tune in for that, turn on notifications so you don't miss any alerts, and I will see you in the next video. Good talk.